Lakers with a huge win over the Nuggets. They fell behind by as many as 16 big game, one of the hardest fought victories of the year. Luka was fantastic, a 38-point triple-double. They got some great performances from LeBron and other role players that we'll get into. But the story of the game for me, Laker defense. They held Denver, and you just heard LeBron talk about it with Mike, to 36 second-half points. And the adjustments they made at halftime on Jamal Murray were key, running guys off the three-point line, doubling Jamal. He had 26 points in the first half, only 2 in the second half. And, James, here's the key, man. Out-rebounded Denver by 20.
Yeah, I think in the second half, particularly third quarter, I think they scored like, 30, 37 or something in the first quarter, 34 or something, whatever. That total for 71, but only 36, I think. 34 in that second half. They were tracking that. And I think they got their rotations down. The communication was better. They didn't get as many open, uncontested shots, and then they didn't get second shots. And that was the key to playing good defense. 24 seconds, and then securing the ball, getting out with a little pace themselves.
I think for me, it was the bench. You know, we always talk about the starters so much, and we talk about the lack of scoring that we get from the bench. Tonight, the bench had 32 compared to their 20, and that's the key, especially with Jackson Hayes being a plus 16. That's amazing. And for me, when you always talk about the superstars, they're going to do their thing, but this road trip, it's going to be all about their bench, too. If the bench is able to step up and knock down some big shots. With Ayton going out, I thought what Jackson Hayes was able to do was key for the Lakers to get that victory. And, you think about it, 17-16 in the second half, that's huge.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Robin. We'll get into the role players in a moment. Of course, the 2 stars did their thing. We'll get into them. But let's start with that third quarter run. Big game. Listen, at the end of the first half, it was a 14-3 and an 8-0 run by Denver to go up 14. Jamal Murray hits a 60-footer. Lakers came out in that third quarter. They changed the way they play D, and look at it right there, 29-17. They were 13 of 22. They held Denver to 7 of 21, just 1 of 7 from 3 after they hit 9 in the first quarter, in 12 at halftime, and they out-rebounded them by 6. You see it right there. The numbers don't lie. That's where the Lakers got back in this game.
Well, you're going to have games. You're going to have halves like that where teams are just scorching hot. And a lot of times, you just can't do anything about it except try to get to the shots and not let them be uncontested. I thought in the second half, obviously they're a little colder, but I thought the defense, and this right here, put a lot of pressure on their defense. They were just force them into some tougher shots, and then they were able to get out on the break. I thought, like Rob said, the role player, especially Timmy, I'm starting to love this kid.
Yeah, me too.
He comes in, plays fundamentally sound, 9 points, and in the second half they just were connected together defensively, and they put up a resistance for Denver. They didn't get the easy shots. They were a little bit more physical. I thought Marcus Van, all those guys coming in with a little perimeter defense, and they didn't get as easy targets.
For me, it's the way you approach the game. Their approach in the first half was like, oh, we playing good defense, but they were still knocking down shots. And it says sometimes when you're shooting the ball that good, it's hard to continue in the second half because if you look at the difference, they had a lot of role players knocking down shots. You had Jones, you had Pickett. All these guys were knocking down shots. But in the second half, it went away. Because reality sets in. You was playing with house money in the first half, but in the second half is when reality check and say, oh, we got to lock in on this guy. The defense is a little tighter. What are you going to do under this pressure? Are you able to withstand this lead? And they weren't. And I just really appreciate how, the Lakers didn't say, oh, panic. They realized, oh, man, this is going to happen again when guys get hot. Just not let it continue in the second half.
Rob, the reason why I mentioned that hard-fought battle, and Stu and Billy mentioned this as well, the Lakers did not have a lead until they got into that fourth quarter. And they had about, I think we were right, and it was about 4 chances to get it. They still didn't get it, but they stayed true to what they were doing, kept getting rebounds, kept attacking. Once they took the lead, they never let it go. They outscored Denver by 10 in that fourth.
Yeah, taking the lead and with keeping that lead is so important. I just was sitting there watching the Purdue and UCLA game, had back and forth. But this game, once the Lakers say, okay, it's our lead, we're going to take this lead, we're going to hold it. And I think when you watch these guys play defense, they will lock in. And one of the things that I was taught is you contest all shots. And I think every 3 that the Denver Nuggets took, it was contested shot. It was somewhere at some point it was getting out there. Usually Jamal Murray in the fourth quarter, he's a Laker killer, but he wasn't able to do his thing in the fourth quarter because of guys like Jackson Hayes when he switched out, because of Smart being on him, because of that tenacity that you do defensively, locked in. You know what was really shocking to me, though, and I appreciate it? Usually when you hit a big shot like they did at the end of the quarter, end of the half, it kind of demoralizes the
I'm
team.
glad the half was over.
Yeah.
Because they came out cold.
They came out like, okay, we ready. And, it was just, you really have to applaud the way the Lakers played defensively. I know everybody wants to talk about the offense, but the whole team at 107 in their building, it shows you they were really locked in.
So LeBron was 19, 9, and 8 tonight, 8 of 15, over 50%. And Luka, who we'll talk about now, James, listen, you said it when we were watching the game in the first quarter. He's on a mission tonight. He had 16 first quarter points. He ends up with 38 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. He was 11 of 12 from the free throw line. And he had his 52nd 30-point triple-double to move one ahead of Jokic. The Big O obviously still in the lead. Hello, 106 of those. Luka, his 87th overall triple-double, 7th most all-time. He was magnificent.
You could tell from the beginning that he was not going to be playing around in Denver. He was aggressive. He was, very aggressive, as I said, getting to the cup, looking for his shots, looking to draw fouls. And he just wanted to get the team going. But Denver was so hot, but it didn't really, match to a lead. But Gator, he just continues to just light it up. I mean, tonight I thought he was really aggressive, trying to get to the bucket, trying to get some points in there early, and then he got the assist.
Yeah, thinking 38 points, 35 minutes, only 21 shots. That was very efficient. He made buckets at the free throw line, which was really important, 11 for 12. And when Luke was able to play like that, you always I love to look at the number of shots a guy's taking versus number of points. If you shooting more shots than you got points, it's a problem. But when you look at the way Luka now, he shot over 50%, so I'm happy with that. That's the key. When you take as many shots as a lot of players do, and you don't shoot 50%, I'm having a problem with that. But he shot 50%. He carried the team. He got guys involved, because that shows that with the triple-double. He was boxing out. And think about it, Luka almost played a perfect game, except for one thing, that tech. Come on, Luka, you got 13
got 13 techs.
You got 13 techs, you only get 3 more. So you got to be careful.
It got there quick.
Yes.
It got there quick. I'm glad you mentioned Drew Timme. He had 9. Rui had 9. You guys both mentioned him, yeah. Gabe Vincent added 5. Rui with 9 off the bench. And then you got to throw Marcus Smart into that. 15 points. That's 47 points between those 5 guys. Vando did it on the defensive end as well. So Marcus Smart, a couple of huge threes, took a charge. Really nice job. So LeBron talked about a lot there. Big game, opening up about what the team needed to do, turning up the pressure, especially the ball pressure, what they did on Jamal Murray, and also gave a lot of props to the bench unit, and also talked about greatness in this league and what it takes. And he showed it again tonight.
What he just described is leadership. He's at that point now where he knows how to win, he knows how to play, and he's looking to encourage his teammates. And tonight was a game that they needed after the win the other night against Toronto. So he just set the tone. I mean, he's a tone setter, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to stay out of the way when he has to and let Rui and other guys get involved. And he also knows when he can, make his point on the court, and he did that tonight. Some fast breaks when he gets the rebound and making the right pass, shooting threes, and just putting pressure on the defense, and then recognizing those that, made big contributions. Timme, Hayes, those guys off the bench.
For me, it's all about recognizing the mismatch. Every time he did something, he recognized the mismatch, went to the hole. What I always like about LeBron and what he got in trouble for is sharing the basketball. I've never seen anybody get in trouble for sharing the basketball. That's why you have teammates. He's so good at finding people in the corner. It's not like, catch, think about it. Do I have the shot? Do I make a move? No, he sees the play. It's all either he sees the hockey assist or he gets the assist himself. And for me, that's how you have to play basketball. He plays it the right way each and every night. And think about it. He plays so hard still at the number of years he's been in the league. 23. He plays so hard at being his age.
Let's check out the Lakers calendar. Taking on the Clippers at the Intuit Dome on Thursday. That is on Prime, but we'll have the pre and post for you. And then it's the Mavericks on ABC on Saturday. We'll have the pre and post for you. And then the rest are on Spectrum Sportsnet. You got the Bulls 2 days later. Always a day between, you see here. The Cavs and then the Wizards as this 8-game road trip continues. Good start, though, Rob.
Great start.
Lakers are 1-0. before the Clipper game, and you're breaking down some Luka Doncic.
Yeah, this is going to be Luka, and it's going to be something in there that really impressed me about Luka, and I'm not talking about scoring. You just got to watch and tune in and wait to see this. On this offensive possession here, you see Luka. He has the ability to take this guy who's a smaller guy, Murray, who's not known for his defense, but Murray kind of keeps him out beyond the three-point line. But you see, okay, what are you going to do? Man down, hand down, I'm going to shoot this J. Now he's off to the races. When Luka's able to shoot his threes like that, it sets up a lot of other things. This is the most craziest possession ever. Look at all the Denver Nuggets defense play. Nobody moves. And you know Luka's the best player in the offensive player in the game, and nobody tries to help out. Just has a lane wide open. Now, this is the best part. Now, Luka understanding his the defense. You got a little on Jackson Hayes. The little's not used to guarding the live guy. He just looks around like, which way did he go? Now this is the play I'm talking about. This is a great Luka defense. Usually Luka just stands up, right? He's engaged. He goes for this lob because LeBron plays in front, which is a great opportunity. But this is the funny part. LeBron is so old school, he's expecting Les Ray to go to the basketball layup, but Ray runs to the three-point line. But it sets it up for Luka, who comes off a screen without the ball and knocks down a three. When you set up like that, it's fantastic. But I thought that was so great when Luka was understanding LeBron's communication. He says, I'm a front this, and everybody knows that, you know, that's a former slam dunk champion right there, and he picks it off and starts a fast break.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown, Rob. Shows the versatility and how Luka just kind of knows his teammates and knows their tendencies and gets in the right spots. And I just thought the fourth quarter, I think the connection defensively, you know, even Luka, you know, he's not a great one-on-one player, but his defense is decent. You know, he gambles a lot. He's good deflection, so good win. They got Toronto. They got this team tonight. They got Denver tonight. They got the Clippers.
2 good wins.
This is good trend. Just keep it going. Good communication and keep this defense going.
After struggling in those 5 games against the teams under 500, they now beat 2 teams that are considered good teams and playoff teams. So it's good. Clippers had lost 6 in a row. They had 6 wins. They were at the bottom of the standings. Since that time, they've won 13 games, and they've climbed all the way up into the play-in. They did lose tonight in Chicago. Rob, Kawhi sat out a couple of games. He'll be ready to go, but they've been playing great basketball.
Yeah, they've been playing really good basketball. You think about when you took teams that are hurt, teams that are old, first team that comes to mind is the Clippers. But some way, somehow, Ty Lue got those guys playing young. They're playing inspired. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup.
Your boy Ty Lue.
Yep, my boy Ty Lue. He got him playing good, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, did they get Zubac back from the injury? Kawhi is
he's really turned back the clock.
Really turned back the clock, Geeter. And the rest of the crew, the supporting cast, you know, they've always been a solid basketball team, and Lou seems to get the best out of all of them, especially some of the role players.
Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Shooting some threes.
Yeah, Brook Lopez, I think the biggest key for Brook was when Zubac got hurt, he would get some consistent minutes.
It also spread the floor for them.
Yeah, he knocked the rust off, and now he's playing pretty decent basketball.
Yeah, that was a fun win tonight, gentlemen.